Welcome to This Week in Pulling, the show that brings you all the action from the world of tractor and truck pulling. I'm Dan Mayer, joined by Jeremy and Miles Krieger, and each week we'll dive into the latest highlights, breaking news, and behind-the-scenes stories from the sport we all love. From upcoming events, standout performances, and the rich history that shaped pulling into what it is today, we've got you covered. So buckle up, This Week in Pulling starts now.
Welcome back, everybody. Episode 31, This Week in Pulling. And big news, Jeremy. We got big news earlier this week. Actually came out late last week about Mackville, Wisconsin, going back to the NTPA. And looking back at things, it looks like about 20 years since they've been with the NTPA. Used to be a big regional event up there. They ran a couple Grand National mini classes up there. And it looks like a semi-class here and there, but they're going to go full Grand National next year with 4 Grand National classes. And it looks like, talking to Roger Baum, the promoter last week, he says they're going to stay with the Badger State on the other side of things. So probably have the pro stocks. He didn't know for sure what classes they were going to run, but Badger State's got a really good program there with pro stocks and limited pros, so I would imagine that'll probably be what they'll stay with. But yeah, unlimited mods, mini rods. We've got also the semis and the super stock diesel trucks up there, so that'll be interesting. That'll be the week before Toma next year, the third week in June. So that that kind of got the end of the week going into the weekend last week. There is Mackville going back.
Is this a different venue?
They moved it this year. It was actually in Mackville, and then they moved it to another facility, to the fairgrounds where they're at now, and I think about 20 miles west of Green Bay, so eastern Wisconsin there. So yeah, that'll be interesting
for sure. And now's the time. People are starting to get their plans. The seasons are starting to end and wind up, so time for promoters already to be looking into next year as to what they're going to do and where they're going to go. And I think you'll see several more announcements as far as, events coming out in 2026. And I'm here for it. I'm ready. Let's, I don't enjoy this downtime. I'm ready to get going.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready, and I think before the banquet season starts here, I think stuff's going to really start coming together here real quick. And how about last week? Now, you were the last KTPA event?
Yes, I was down in Temple Hill, Kentucky, for Glasgow, Kentucky area, for the Temple Hill Lions Fall Brawl, they called it. And it's an interesting facility there. It's big enough that they have 2 tracks, and they had, of course, 2 sleds, and they're basically 2 different sections at the same time. So they had 6, sanctioned KTPA classes, and then they had 6 non-sanctioned sort of local classes. So they had some farm stock classes, and they had some street diesel stuff as well. But it was fun. It was interesting to see, and enjoyed it quite a bit. The 2-wheelers, of course, were there this time, and they had light limited supers. Most of the gamut. They didn't have the long wheelbase.
That was my next question. I'm like,
mods were not there, but there were some 2-wheelers. They only had 4, but the longs were there because it's sort of right in their backyard. Mikey White came and won the event there, and then the Robertsons were there with their 2. They have that one called Pandemonium, and I still don't know what that truck is. I don't know if it's a Ford Courier or a Chevy S10. It's just very hard to tell what it is, but it's a neat looking truck. And then, of course, the ultimate Chevy was on the property as well, and it was good to see that old machine out and about again. But yeah, it was a fun evening. Got a little cold, got a little chilly, and it was a very, very late night for me because it's a couple hours away. But we were done there 11:30, their time, 12:30 Eastern. But by the time you drive 2 hours home, it's 2:30, 2:45 in the morning. But thanks to the KTPA and that whole bunch for the opportunity to announce some events with them this summer. Really, really enjoyed the time, and I've enjoyed kind of branching out and just kind of seeing what's out there and seeing how each of the different regional the state level sanctioning bodies do things. TNT, KTPA. it's really fun to see, kind of how they handle events, and they had a good crowd down there, and the local the Lions Club puts it on, and they had some smoked pork shoulder down there that was pretty good, from what I understand. I didn't try any, but I heard it was very, very good.
I was surprised at how many two-wheelers are actually in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah,
With all these different groups, I mean, for years, obviously Kentucky's the home of the two-wheel drive, but
right.
it literally, like, how many are out there is the amazing part, because like the Ultimate Chevy shows up here, there, and
Yeah, and I think that's what's really interesting. Like they have their groups that they pull with, and you maybe don't see them with anybody but those groups. So you have to go to one of those shows to see these particular two-wheelers. Now, some of them will jump in and run here and run there and run wherever they want to, but others don't. Like, you just only see them with that, particular contingent. And I feel like, again, we've talked at length about, what TNT did with Battle of the Bluegrass, but I think it would be really cool to see a TNT and KTPA situation come together and get some of those synergies from, one to the other, and run them together one time. I think that would be really, really neat, to see. But yeah, and I did want to tell you, it looks like the Long brothers have decided they're going to go with the bullseye on the red Chevy. Like, for a while,
they are okay.
The Long brothers or what have you, but that particular evening it was entered as the bullseye, and Keith was driving.
Ah, okay. Oh, good to see Keith behind the wheel.
Yeah,
okay.
Keith was behind the wheel, and as I understand it, I think that's where we're going to be going forward with, the new mod coming. And Ricky will drive the big one, and Keith will stay in the old, the C10.
Okay, so they don't have it painted bullseye yet. They just
no,
it's still the red,
okay. Like it was, but they, the first several times I saw it, it was just entered as the Long brothers.
Right.
But this particular evening, it was called the bullseye on the paperwork. So
okay.
Looks like that might be where they're going with it, and that's good. The nostalgia in me loves that. I loved that truck when it came out many, many years ago, and the lineage of the bullseyes over the years. So it's good to see the namesake back with the Longs there in Glasgow, for sure.
Yeah, that is very cool. And like you say, good to see Keith behind the wheel, because I know he's had some health concerns here lately, and good to see that everything's going well with him. Now, Jeremy, since last week we brought up about the super modified four-wheel drive class, we had a lot of folks outreach to us.
Yeah, there's been some attention to that, and I think that's great. And I would ask, I would say thanks to those who have reached out to us, and you and I have made notes, and in the off season, I think we're going to start to sit down and maybe put pen to paper and see what we can come up with. But again, I would make a beseech you, if you're listening right now, or you know of super modified four-wheel drives that we have not yet accounted for in the state of Kentucky or Ohio or Indiana or the surrounding tri-state area, or really anywhere that will run, the KTPA TNT rules, the long wheelbase, 170 long wheelbase, with the 500
cubes and the 871,
871 blower, and what I think it's 53.8% overdrive on the supercharger. So that's where it is. So if you know somebody who has one of those vehicles, either up and going or in a barn somewhere, let's talk about it. I want to, if we can get 20, 25, 30, that would be amazing. We would love to have a super modified four-wheel drive, long wheelbase, not OSDPA style, long wheelbase, Kentucky style, old school shootout. And I think it's going to come to fruition hopefully next year. So again, if you know of somebody who would be interested in helping us get this afloat, or if you know anybody who would like to bring some sponsorship dollars to the table to sweeten the pot a little bit, to draw or entice some pullers, let's have conversations for sure.
Yeah, we've got folks already reaching out. Hey, these trucks are from this area. So it's I don't think it'd be very hard to put, like you said, 20 together.
No, I'd love to see it. I would love that. I think, the crowds, or the groups that I see, it's usually 4 to 6, 6, maybe on a good day you get 8 strong. But I think there's, if we could get them all together, there's every bit of 20 and maybe a little more for what we've already been able to account for. And that's just what we know here. Maybe there's some somewhere else that we don't know about, that's why we want to get the word out and see if we could really turn this into something really cool for those super modified 4 pullers. We'd love to, I'd love to see that happen, just because it's so cool.
That'd be awesome.
The nostalgia of those days is really neat. And as I understand it, there are a couple current teams that may be building doubles, so there'll be a couple more. I'd heard that maybe the Galen Young team has another one coming. I don't know if that's true, but at one point it was. And then I'd also heard that the Clems may be having another
Steve
one.
Did mention that. Yeah, Steve did mention
the assembly line. So we'll see how that all hangs. How that all kind of hashes out. But if we could get 20 or 25 of them somewhere, boy, how cool would that be?
That would be
But we have to do it on a night where you and I are going to be in the same place. Like that's the thing. So
Elizabethtown. Elizabethtown would be.
Yeah, Elizabethtown would be good, or perhaps Glencoe, Kentucky, if they bring them back on the TNT.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We could do it there. But E-Town or the Glencoe, the Sullivan's Pole, if they come back, that would be another idea. But I think we just need to figure it out and then see if we can get some help with some people that might want to throw some sponsorship dollars at us, and we'll see what we can do there. I think it would be fun.
Just thinking back to the events that I've seen them at, I don't think I've seen the same group at every single event. I mean, it's a different group.
You may have a little smattering of these and a smattering of those, and that's the thing. So many of them, just kind of stay close to home or stay close to one particular sanctioning body and chase points with one, and they maybe can't go to all of them or can't go to the other. And that's why I feel like if we get out in front of it, we could really, get us a bunch of them.
And everybody that mentioned, the 2-wheel or the 4-wheel drive trucks that are out there, nobody mentioned the Orange Blossom. I mean, it's still out there. I know it is, but I don't know if they've run it in competition since whoever bought it.
I've heard a rumor, and again, it is a rumor, and I cannot confirm this, but the person or persons who bought it basically had to sign it away, that it wouldn't be run, that it would be like a historic museum type piece and only displayed for future generations, but not ever on the track again. Again, I can't confirm that, but that's what I am hearing from certain circles who have heard that. So
it can be on display at our event.
Yeah, totally understandable. We'll display it there.
Yes.
Maybe we can entice whoever has it to bring it, and then we'll just put it around a velvet rope, and then people can go and enjoy it. Or maybe it can go out and cackle and maybe not hook, or maybe
or something
back to the sled, or at least get out there and let people take some photos of it trackside as if. But again, I cannot validate or refute that. That's what I'm being told. Someone said that's what they'd heard.
There we go. If somebody knows the story, let us know.
But again, I can totally understand that. Like, it is a historical piece.
Yeah.
But the 37 is too, and it's out on the track once or twice a year. So
now Eddie Carey's got that one.
Yeah, Eddie Carey has it. I know that.
Yeah, I know I've seen that a couple times there.
I know they usually make an exhibition pass with it at the horse park pulls in the early little winter. And but again, the long wheelbase truck was there last year. I saw it. I was there.
On display. Yep.
Yeah,
they had the old two-wheeler too.
Yeah, the old two-wheeler was there, and they had the Ranger, and then they had all three of them there. So but again, if we could get that out there, even if we can't do it in competition, could you make an exhibition pass? I don't know. We'll those are discussions we can have with whoever owns that truck, and whether or not they're interested, we'll have those conversations. But boy, it would be cool.
That would be excellent. Yes.
But yeah, and then again, we got to talk to our buddy Eddie Holland and see if he can, come up with a really cool T-shirt or maybe he could design a trophy or something for us. But it has to be, spectacular. It has to be next level.
Yes, super modified 4-wheel drive. Here we go.
Maybe the trophy is 170 inches wide.
Yeah.
I'm teasing.
Cool. That'd be cool.
Maybe 170 millimeters. I don't know.
We'll have to cut that down a little.
We'll have to figure that out. But anyway, if you have any interest in our vision for getting this thing some legs, please reach out to us, message us, give us a call, let us know what you think and where are they. Let's find them and let's get them on a pulling track next summer.
Awesome. It'd be so cool to see. Cool to see.
For sure. Absolutely.
So this weekend, a lot of big pulling going on. We got
Right,
Lufkin, Texas.
you're headed to the Lone Star here in a day or two.
Yes, I'll be heading down to Lufkin, Texas, just north of Houston, a couple hours north of Houston.
Sure.
Second year down there, and then the North Carolina State Fair, which unfortunately they fall on the same weekend this year.
Yeah.
Last
Now
year they
you
were,
went there last year, right?
yeah, they were apart last year. I don't know how the calendar falls, but that's what happened this year. Is they're not on the same, they're on the same weekend. So, but I have to go down to Lufkin, Texas. There, the final outlaw pull of the season. Looking forward to that, and that last year, what a great event. It set up at the Pine Valley Raceway. They got drag strip there, and pull track set up at the end of the track there, and it just what great facility. And the people there are the fans are diehard fans down there in Texas. What would you call that? Like Southern Texas? What would you north of Houston? What would that? I'd say
Yeah,
probably
I guess
Central,
Southern.
maybe. I don't know, but
It's so big. Is it Central?
yeah, it's so big. I don't know how but like during the afternoon, they'll come out and they'll sit in the grandstands and mark and wait for the pull to start. Pull doesn't start for a few hours, and they're out there ready to go. And yeah, that was pretty cool to see. They got a band afterward. I think it's on Friday night, and I think there was a band actually both nights. I can't remember, but yeah, that was what a great event. And of course, the Outlaws are going to crown champions down there. And it looks like, the two closest races down there are the pro stock class, where you've got the Wager family with the pro stocks.
Right.
The father and son are going to battle it out for the championship. And then Don Nelson's pretty much got it wrapped up. Not sure which truck, one or two trucks could win it. So, but it'll be a Nelson truck winning that. So,
okay.
Yeah,
so it'll be the Little Whip or one of the other ones.
Yeah, because Dustin Corliss usually sometimes drives that other one, and so
Right.
yeah, it'll be one of them. The Nelson team trucks there is going to win the championship, and it looks like all the other classes they're that weekend. Or the modifieds will be there as well. They got the pro stock 4-wheel drives, the 3.0 diesel trucks will be there as well. So yeah, a lot of great pulling. Now once again, both events will be on Full Pull Live, and then North Carolina State Fair. You've got in Raleigh, you've got 4 sessions of pulling starting Friday night, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday afternoon. And Region 4 is going to all come to an end here. And
okay, so is that co-sanctioned with UPOC or is it just NTPA?
I know that they work with the United Pullers of the Carolina. That's the NTPA member state organization down there. And I know they work kind of hand in hand, the officials and all the folks down there. So it's kind of like and because they do have some state level classes there, and then they run some regional national classes. So that's how they kind of, like, you'll notice in the results, they'll only, like, the NTPA will only show you the regional classes. They won't show you the state classes. Right. It's not like they only had 2 classes there. It was like, they 4 or 5 classes there, and they just ran, just show you the results for that particular, the regional stuff. So, but yeah, it's always that the red clay down there in Raleigh. And I was amazed last year being down there, and I hadn't been down there in, well, it was 2001 on our honeymoon.
Right.
And we ended up there in Raleigh, and I hadn't been there since. And it's amazing how that place has changed where they have the pull. The last time I was there, it was double tracks, and the horse track was still there. Well, they've pulled all that out of there. They only have the grandstand there now and a pulling track, and then you literally on the other side of the pulling track, and there's only one now, and they've got like the midway with all the rides. So they've taken the horse track out, and it's completely different. So like all the pullers have to park up near the road, and they kind of haul them down in. So it's kind of a little different setup there than it was 20 some years ago. But
right,
yeah, it's but still crowds still come out, and it's great. It's they really love their pulling down there. That's really cool to see.
Absolutely. And but it's kind of bittersweet because it's coming to an end. We're going to have those 2, and then I think we have Diesels and Dark Corners, not this coming weekend but next.
Yep, that'll be the next week, and then we got a weekend off for Halloween weekend, and then out to Madera, California.
Okay, gotcha.
But that off weekend, I think, is the Bells have their pull out in California.
Yeah, there's 2 California pulls.
Yep.
Pretty close proximity, but for those of us who are here, That's going to be hard to get to, but we can watch it on Full Pull Live. So.
Yes. Yep. Yep. At least you'll be able to watch Diesel and Dark Corners. And of course, we've got the 3-0 power rankings that are going to be unveiled 1 week from today. And we are going to, they are coming in fast and furious. So
I think I saw the entry list or one of them already out. It's out circulating. And I think they have every bit of 30 or 40, maybe even on the 3-0 side.
Yeah. And this year they limited the entries for that event.
Okay.
Last year, I mean, if you remember, we were out there to the wee hours of the morning. It was a late one.
Now,
and
talk a little bit about that area. It's like just out in the middle of a field or something, right? Like,
it is one of the coolest venues that you can go to a tractor pull. I mean, a truck pull, I should say. Because, there's going to be some tractors there, but the venue is set up, in between the trees. It's like they carved it out, and it seems like from what they were saying, they seem to clear more area out and make more room. But you just come down right through the trees there, and it's just that real cool venue. They got that red Georgia clay as well. And this year they raised the entry fee to kind of keep the entries down, because I think last year, my goodness, it was 70 of one class, and there was 60 some of one class, and it was big numbers on a single track, and it made for some long nights there. So
sure.
They've limited that, and which is a good thing, and makes it for the fans that are there, and of course the fans that are watching, makes it good for them. So yeah, they've released I think 4 of the lists have come out here so far, and I know they run couple of the tractor classes. They had like a light limited pro stock, like we saw down in Elizabethtown, I think was.
Yep.
We see that class, and then there's like pro stock for semis, I think, run there as well. Like a 4-1 semi runs down there. So
gotcha.
Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. It's
there are several 3-0ers from this area going to make the trip. Like I know, Sean Ostritter is going. I think I saw Adam Kincaid on that list.
The Baloney Man, yes, the Smoke Baloney Man is going. Yes.
Amanda
hired gun. He'll get some ride.
I know Amanda Scott's going, and then I think Bo Curry as well. I saw him, and I think the brothers that won at Glencoe, the orangey colored Dodge.
Yes. I can't think of their name right off the top of my head. Yes, I know it. Yep. Up.
I believe they're signed up to go. So that we're well represented, and of course I know the Pushlars from up Western New York way. Are headed there too, so there'll be a bunch that we know and have seen all summer headed that direction.
Yeah, great, a great group of them there, and let me just get the Perkins.
Yeah, thank you.
Perkins. I knew I could come up with it. Just
thank you.
Think about it, but yes, Perkins brothers.
Oh, so, and Josh Land's going too. The Crippler's going,
and I see he's running like 3. He's going to run super stock. He's going to run
he can put the cut tires on it too, and it looks really mean when he does it. I think it's really neat to look and see.
Yeah, we saw it Elizabethtown. He ran with the pro stocks there and ran really good. I thought, and really good with them
for sure. But yeah, that'll be fun, and I just hope the weather's decent for you and it's not super duper cold down there. Like this time of year, like. The weatherman was telling me, this morning on the news that, we're going to be next week, Wednesday, Thursday here in the Louisville area, we're going to be looking at highs in the 50s, because we got some more Arctic air coming over the weekend that'll have some rain, and then it's going to get cold here. Not winter cold, but cold for October.
Yeah, and really we can't complain. I mean, it's been just
you're from New York State, so we can't complain anyway. Like you didn't have to shovel snow or throw a snow blower out anywhere since you've lived here. I don't think
we have. Actually, it was just the anniversary of the October storm.
Okay,
that we had back in 2006 up in New York, and that big ice storm that shut everything down that was wild.
Right.
That was. And we've had snow in October, and Super Dirt Week. We talked about that last week out in Syracuse, and now it's in Oswego, but yeah.
When you were up there, like you snow was a thing. Like you had to deal with it. But since you moved to Southern Indiana, it's much less of a thing.
And really, it got a bad rap because where you were, it was all lake effect. It would come because the lake wasn't frozen, up until January. So that whole October, November, December, when anything cold blew across that lake, look out. That's when we got that, 7 feet of snow in my driveway there in 14. That was,
which is
that got the ball rolling. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of this. And
I can't fathom what that would even be like. Like I've never seen anything like that here.
Yep.
Never.
Yep. It just sat there all day and all night, and then the next day and all night, just like the cloud never moved. Usually with the lake effect, it would come in and then it kind of hovered down to the south towns, right around the Bills Stadium. But it stayed right in that line, and you never know. And
so, I mean, how did you punch out of 7 feet of snow? Like, how does that even work?
So I was fortunate where I lived. I was about a mile or so down the road. Had a couple junkyards that were down there, down by the railroad tracks, and actually had a high lift, and he come down and hey, anybody that wanted to get plowed out, he was like, so you stand out by the road, and yep, he helped plow you out, and and really the weirdest part about that was just about a mile north of where they are, it was green grass.
Wow. Okay.
So it was just, you just happened to be in that one spot, and that's, yeah. So it, I don't miss that. I'll take these 70s in October all day long. That's
for sure. Yeah, I get that completely.
So hopefully this weekend down in Lufkin, Texas, talking with Ron Stone last night, he was saying there's a slight chance on Saturday morning for a little bit of precipitation, but get a chance to see the modified 7,400 pound modifieds down there, and Dave Richardson's going to take the tag team down there and run with the Outlaws.
Do we assume Bunnage is going to take his too?
He's not on the lineup, but you just never know. Maybe things will go well, and he'll say, we'll take a ride down there. Things been on a hot streak.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd be a heck of a place to go with as good as it's been doing, for sure.
Yeah, and just kind of looking at I think there was 8 different winners this year they had with the Outlaw Modifieds. Steve Bollinger was able to win. The Phipps tractor was able to win. And then, of course, Bunnage was able to win as well. So, kind of mixed it in with the other Outlaws, and they got turbines. They got the Griffin. They've
And those have been really fun to watch. And they've been doing very well. So it'll be fun to see. I still need to get to an Outlaw show. I haven't. I don't think I've ever been to one. Still to this day, I'd like to get to one of these days.
I had the opportunity to go to Rock Valley this year, and talking about that show, the light limited modified class. If you want variety, that is the class with the variety.
Okay,
that is the one where the one gentleman had the LS1 engines on it, and just turbines and you name it. You think it, you can build. Doug Roberts built a tractor for that class, and some really interesting rides. It was pretty cool.
Didn't they have a rotary tractor that pulls with them too, or something?
I know there's one up in Pennsylvania or Maryland. I remember was up there.
Gotcha.
There may be. There was a couple there and then of course they had the naturally aspirated 2-wheel drives there, and they had I would have liked to have a little bit more time to look at them, and there was some unique. I'm sure there was some history out there and in those fields, but
for sure,
that was an interesting class too. But yeah, Outlaws, get a chance to go see a pull, and they're coming more this way, this side of the river. They came a couple times in Illinois this year, so that's good to see.
For sure, absolutely. Well, and then here we go. It's banquet time already. I'm seeing some announcements for banquets being scheduled. So before you know that, early mid-November, it'll be here before you know it, man.
PPL banquet coming up November 15th.
November 15th, and I believe KTPA's banquet is the same weekend. They're at Dale Hollow State Park down there in right on the border in Kentucky, between Kentucky and Tennessee.
And then I think the Outlaws, they're up in the Ozarks, and I think they're the following week they're from PPL. I think they're like the 22nd. And then, of course, this year NTPA's down in Orlando.
Yep.
They're going back on the road. Of course, they did that years ago. They would have it at Nashville, Las Vegas, and then it kind of settled in there in Columbus area, and that's where it's been for the longest time.
Right, and that'll be the 5th and 6th of December
down in Orlando.
The DoubleTree Hilton.
Yeah, so all kinds of great things happening.
And I'm sure several of them will go see Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, well, I think it's right at Universal Studios. I think Universal's right there by where that hotel is, I think is how it's set up. Somebody had mentioned about that.
Well, like I say, I can't believe we're here already. Like, it's just the season. I don't know about you. I know you've been really busy. You've been on the road all summer, and you're probably ready for a break. But I feel like
I'm all refreshed after last weekend. I didn't have to. I watched some pulling on Full Pull Live and catching up with the World of Outlaw late models and seeing Super Dirt Week last week on Dirt Vision there. So it was kind of nice to just kind of relax and catch up on a couple things. And, that's always fun. But I'm ready to get back at it. Ready to go outlaw pulling this weekend down in the Pines.
Now, will you fly to that one or drive?
Yeah, I'll fly. I leave Louisville tomorrow night. I think like 8 o'clock. It's a direct flight down there, so I'll be down there about 9:30 their time. And
so you'll fly into Houston.
Houston, was it Hobby or Hobie, however you say it? There's 2 airports there, and the southern one.
Okay.
And real easy to. And then it's just like I say, a couple hour drive north of there up to the Lufkin area, and the town of Lufkin, where the drag strip's right outside the town. It's a pretty decent sized town. Lots of hotels and places to eat and stuff like that. So it's you're not out in the middle of nowhere. So that's always a good thing.
And again, that's coming on Full Pull Live this weekend. So make sure you tune in. Yep. There'll be the Lufkin, Texas show and the Carolina State Fair as well. I believe will both be brought to you on Full Pull Live. Now, we're done with most of our regional stuff, with the exception of the North Carolina State Fair.
That's it. Yeah, Region 4 will end it here, and that'll be it for the the Region 4 champions will be all crowned, and that'll be it up until banquet time. For them, and now we start building towards 2026.
Absolutely, and hopefully 2026 or 2026 when. We get to see Pulling Reference come out, because it looks to me like it's going to take.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I knew you were going to do that. I had a meeting with him today, and I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to look out for it. That's all I can tell you. You might be right.
You're confident it's coming before January.
Gosh, I hope so. I was hoping it'd be. I was hoping so, and then I saw the last update and they had everything upside down. I'm like, come on, guys! Like,
well,
I had to hold their hand today. We spent an hour and a half together, and we went through everything. And this has got to go here, this has got to go here, and so I think they had PPL champs under NTPA, and it was just a mess. So
I'm excited for the new searchable feature. I can't wait for that. That's going to be even more awesome. Like, I can't wait to see that. But I just had to I had to yank.
I know you did. I know you did. But it's been an ongoing since March.
But maybe for Christmas, like maybe we everyone gets a Christmas present with Pulling Reference coming out, for Christmas.
I was kind of hoping for like a Halloween treat, but
that would be fine too, or Thanksgiving even. I'm just beggars can't be choosers, but let me.
One of these damn holidays, right? Just one of them.
I can either eat chocolate candy and wear a ghost outfit to look at Pulling Reference, or I can eat a turkey leg and or I can, put on my elf costume and do it that way. Whatever wants to have, like, just let's get Pulling Reference fired back up. It's been too long. And I still every so often get a text message from someone, hey, with Pulling Reference, I'm like, let me get with Dan and I'll let you know. Yes. I don't have a clue.
Yes. and I'm kind of rethinking. I went with GoDaddy, and I don't know. I thought for sure that they had done this, and then it sounded like they've never done something like this before, and so I don't know. I reached out to a ton of people, and then somebody not too long ago mentioned about Wiki. Wiki's got like you can set up tables and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe that's something to look at down the road. I don't know. It just I'm just not that internet savvy to.
Totally get it, but no, it's coming, and it's something to look forward.
It's coming, so it'll be like a surprise.
We'll have a new pulling reference page to enjoy for those of us who are pulling nerds, and we wouldn't have it if we didn't have Dan Mayer. So that we all owe you a debt of gratitude there for having the wherewithal to compile all the lists and the history and put it all in one searchable little box for us pulling geeks to have at. So I can't wait. It's going to be fun when it gets.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping to have things settled in here pretty quick. But we'll. I got another meeting the 28th, so that'll be after. Yeah, that'll be our off week there, Tuesday the 28th. So maybe Halloween, but I'm not going to say.
And I guess it won't be long. We'll be talking about PRI too. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'll be I think that's the same. Is it the same weekend as this year as the banquet? I think
I think it's
where they were last year. They were apart from each other, 1 week apart, and now they think this year they're, sandwiched on top of each other.
Yep, it'll be here before you know it. I haven't made the trip in the last few years, but I hope to get up there.
That was a lot of fun last year. I had the opportunity, talk to Ron Capps, and that was really awesome.
Great guests up there, and
I think that was Antron Brown, and of course, Dave Schultz from Bowling Green. Talked to all the
John Mears.
John Mears was there. We had a chance to talk to John Marvin. So that was pretty neat to kind of put all those interviews together, and hopefully we'll do something like that again this year. We'll see how it goes with the banquet. We'll
For sure. Good deal. Well, I was going to say that's kind of run the gamut of all the things that I had to talk about. What about you? You got other topics?
That's pretty much it. I mean, we, like I say, we've got next week, we've got the 3.0 diesel truck power rankings coming out just before the Diesels in Dark Corners event. And I think there was about 17 or 18 ballots sent out to, we picked all the big names in the sport in this class, and
sure,
they'll give us their top 5, and we'll go through, crunch the numbers, and we'll see who the drivers think is the best driver. Now, obviously, like we talked about with our earlier classes, it's not machinery, it's not equipment, it's the best driver.
Yep, absolutely. Which it's going to be fun.
It'll be.
We did that when we picked our top 5. The power rankings early in the season, and I feel like this is going to be a sort of a cool prelude to what's going to happen down there in Diesels and Dark Corners,
and that is for sure. We got to give our top 5, and we should mention that right now Miles. Well, we didn't mention Miles at all, but right now Miles is down in sunny Florida on a beach somewhere in his Speedo.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's in speed. I don't really want to. That's not a visual I want. But he's with his family in Orange Beach, Alabama, having a great time, and we wish him the best. He needs a break, and I'm glad he's taking one this week. And I'm jealous. I wish I was on the coast with him, eating some good seafood and just chilling out a while. But he's not with us this weekend for that reason. But when you go back to our top 5 rankings, I think he was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was. And you've been down to the Gulf Coast, right?
Yes, many times. Yes.
Okay. That's one place I've never been. So I told the wife, I said, we're going to try that. And
well, the thing that I like about where he is in Orange Beach, Alabama, is he's really close to Pensacola. So you can literally just, drive a mile down the road and be in Florida. So,
so you're right, literally, because I thought he said Florida, but okay.
Yeah, he's right on the edge in Orange Beach, Alabama, right, just super duper close. In fact, there's a really famous bar down there that's called Florabama, and the state line literally runs through the bar. So you can walk in there and you're on one side of the bar you're in one side of the bar you're in Alabama, the other side you're in Florida, and it's a of course there are lots of cool places that they go to, and I know Miles and his family usually they cook, but they go to some of like Jimmy Buffett's sister Lucy has a restaurant down there called Lulu's. Which a lot of people love to go, and I know Jesse Petro and his family were just down there this past week.
It seems like it's like what, I-65, just take it straight south.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I noticed that's like a hotbed. Everybody goes down the Gulf, and
yep, it's a fun place. We love it. Like my wife and I love to go to Pensacola, but I mean it's super close to Orange Beach, and so last several times we've gone to Pensacola. My wife's dad and his whole side is from Pensacola.
Oh, okay.
But it's a neat place, and just the restaurants there and the beaches and if you want good seafood, you kind of almost have to go that far to get it anymore.
I'm a seafood guy,
and I'm more of a Cajun kind of gumbo
Cajun too.
The guy, and of course I'm still jealous of the fact that you got when you went to Louisiana, you got authentic jambalaya from the guy who knows how to cook it. I'm still jealous of that, but
anyway. The best jambalaya I think I've ever had in my life.
That guy knows what he's talking about. I've been watching several of his videos.
And then the with the heads, had to pop the heads off.
The crawfish boils.
And in Cole's eye check, actually, he's the man with it. He showed me right. He says, "Here, he just and actually we got that coming up this weekend down in Lufkin.
We're gonna have a crawfish. Okay, good.
Yeah, the big cookout on Saturday night. The largest chicken legs I've ever seen in my life. Fried chicken legs.
Oh my word.
And of course they had Rocky Mountain oysters last year as well.
No, thank you.
I didn't go down.
We'll pass.
Yep. The couple guys tried them. Schultz tried them. I know Donnie Sullivan tried them.
No, thank you.
Not yet. I wasn't there.
I'm with you. I totally get it.
But the chicken legs were, I'm telling you, they say everything's bigger in Texas. I agree. I really, I'm a believer. So, but for sure. All right. Well, that'll do it this week. Episode number 31 in the books. Once again, Full Pull Live this weekend. We'll have all 4 sessions, the North Carolina State Fair in Raleigh, and then both sessions, the Outlaw Pull in Lufkin, Texas here this weekend. So if you're, looking to check out some great pulling action, you never, the great thing about Raleigh, you never know who's going to show up.
Right.
I mean, one year you could, I know Scott Tedder usually makes an appearance every now and then, and I think I saw Jeff Hurt was getting the running bear ready to go. So
Ohio mini rods like to go. I know.
Jeff Hurt, he's been down there with the mini rods but I actually seen him a post there. He was working on the tractor.
The tractor, yeah.
So it should be interesting to see who shows up down there.
For sure. Well, as always, reach out to us. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to talk about. And again, if you have updates or feedback on where those super modified 4-wheel drives are, let's get them added to our list and see if we can get 20 or 25 of them there at a pull next summer. We'd love to do that.
Awesome. That'll do it. We'll see you all next week.